Yo, what is going on, casuals? Today I'm back again with another video. And I kind of want to take a little bit to just talk about something that, has piqued my interest, has popped in my mind a little, and that is the UFC and its frauds. There are a lot of fraudulent guys in the UFC. A lot of people that, came in, you may think they deserved that hype, but then we get to breaking the bread, whatever you want to say, the beakers and the test tubes, as a Sandhagen fan would say. And we find out they're just not all that. Like maybe a Fareed Basharat, they're just not all that. Patricio Pitbull, you know. We figured out recently, maybe Emmanuel Torres just isn't all that. Maybe a fucking Ikram Eliskerov. They're just not all that it may seem. So I wanted to go through and I wanted to give my biggest predictions on fraud checks that are waiting to happen in the UFC in every division. And I want to start off right and strong. Oh, you can't see the bottom of my screen anymore, thank God. I wanted to start off right and strong. This little imp roid cheat, Ramazan Temirov. I don't buy into this guy's hype at all. I know he knocked out Steve Erceg. I know he has a win over Charles Johnson. I don't give a fuck. I think this guy's a roid cheat. All right. I think the only reason he gets these wins is because he's on roids and he's this little ball of explosive muscle that can throw full power for 15 minutes straight without tiring. He faded a little bit in the Charles Johnson fight, but even then, for like 12 and a half minutes, essentially, he kept up throwing full power shots against a guy like Charles Johnson. And I think that's all he has, though. In my opinion, that's all he has. Explosiveness and dynamic stuff. Fast, explosive, but really it's always just winging shots. Just these big overhands. Fucking big explosive movements like spinning back kicks, spinning wheel kicks, shit like that. I don't think he's all that. And I'm not going to buy into his hype. I don't like him. First and foremost, I don't like him because I think he's a dirty roid cheat. I don't like him. I think when if he gets into a 5-round fight with someone, I think if he was in a 5-round fight with Charles Johnson, Johnson would have beat him up. Johnson would have won that fight. Simple as. I don't think this guy has what it takes to make it in the fight. I think his best chance is always going to be in these 3-round fights. That's what I think. I don't think he's got a chance to survive in these 5-round fights, and that's why I don't think he's going to ever be something like a champion. I don't trust his ability to just slime people out all the way to the top with his little roid imp body. And I don't trust in his ability to pass a drug test for his entire career. I think he's going to pop again. He got suspended for like a year and a half already for the first time. I think he's going to pop again. This guy, I don't think he's all that. I think his skills are overrated. He's fast, he's explosive, he's got power, and he's dynamic. But all of that comes from steroids. I think you take that away from him, he's not even in the UFC. Even with all that, I don't think he becomes champion, and I think he gets beat. I think an Asu Almabayev would fucking twist him up like a pretzel. Truly. So frankly, I'm preying on this guy's downfall, and I think he's a fraud check waiting to happen. Sorry, I almost sounded like someone like fucking walked into my house. Jesus. Ugh. Yeah, but I think this guy is a fraud check waiting to happen. I think he's a dirty roid cheat, and I can't wait for it. But moving on to someone who, gets a good amount of hate, but I don't really have anything against personally. Raul Rosas Jr. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm a huge Raul Rosas Jr. fan. I'm not. All right, I have not been very impressed with him as of recent. You know, he was getting before when he was getting like submissions, he was finishing dudes easy. I was like, oh, okay, this guy's got it. This guy's still got potential despite that loss to Christian Rodriguez. He just needs to pace himself better. But against a Richie Lang, he dropped around because he was just getting outstruck and getting pretty much pieced up. I don't like the look of that. I don't like those optics. Against what's his face, Vince Morales. Sure, he was getting his grappling off in all three of his last recent fights, but against Vince Morales, Morales was able to get him in some pretty tricky positions. Had him in a Darce choke at the very end of the fight. That I don't know if Morales maybe sets it up a little bit better, gets a little bit of a tighter cinch on it. Maybe Raul Rosas Jr. is not sitting there with his thumb up in the air and he's struggling and squirming around trying to get out. But for Rob Font, it really just came down to the fact that Rob Font, who isn't really like this defensive grappling whiz, he just smudged him for the entire fight. Wasn't progressing position on him really. Wasn't doing anything crazy. Like, I think you put him up against a Raoni Barcelos, I think Barcelos would maybe finish Raul Rosas Jr. Now, I think if you keep putting Raul Rosas Jr. against people like outside the rankings, I think he'd probably beat a lot of them. Uh, uh, I don't even know about a lot of them. I think there's actually a lot of guys outside the rankings still that would beat a Raul Rosas Jr. Like maybe like an Ethan Ewing, I think. I think Ewing would piece him up on the feet. Same with like a Raoni Barcelos. I think a Raoni Barcelos would piece him up on the feet. Like he's got good grappling, but I just don't feel like he's. I think this year we're gonna see he's gonna get into like a bigger step up. I think they're maybe probably gonna give him like a Raoni Barcelos fight for some reason, and I think he might just get whooped in it. I really do. Now, if he comes out and he beats a guy like Raoni Barcelos, I'll say I was completely wrong. But I think against a guy like Raoni Barcelos, he's gonna get beat up on, and then I think he's gonna continue to get beat up on in his next couple of fights. People are gonna start to kind of figure out that if you really hone in on your grappling, you can kind of pick him apart on the feet. That he's not real, like he's good on the ground. He's got real submission threat, but he's never really gonna progress position too much. Depending on like we know if the opponent's good enough at grappling, he's not gonna be able to really progress position too much. And we know that he's willing to just smudge it, so you're able to beat him on damage in a lot of fights, I feel. So I think he's kind of just it's like a ticking time bomb on him. I like him. I think he's honestly good for a sport. He's like 21 too, which, hey man, you got a long time. Shit. He was talking about I remember when he was talking about being like a triple champ. I want to be champ at bantamweight, featherweight, and lightweight. You're pushing your fucking luck. I want to retire by 26. You're really pushing your luck. Yeah, you're not going to be triple champ. But he's not. I don't think he's even going to make top 10. I really don't. I think the UFC's pushing him hard. They want him to be something for the Mexican crowd. I think he'll always be a fun fighter for the Mexican crowd. But I don't think he's going to be their guy. And I really don't think he's going to, be a consistent top 15 mainstay. Honestly. So that's my bantamweight pick, Raul Rosas Jr. Moving on to featherweight. Featherweight was hard because for featherweight, I don't think that there's anyone I particularly think is just terrible prospect-wise. But it was between him and this guy and someone else. And based off the other guy's last performance, I'll say I was considering putting Tommy McMillan, but based on how he did Alberto Montez, Marwan Rahiki, I mean, his style is just so like. I think the right opponent could just like chin him. I really do. I think his style is just like waiting for the right opponent to just chin him, and I feel like he's such like a he's he's got durability in the sense that he can recover and he can last and he can come back and he's not gonna go away easy. But he can be rocked real easy. He fights chin real high up in the air. He's pretty tall and lanky, so he's got that like we've seen him get dropped bad on the Contender Series, and then again, that fight is also a testament to his heart and his durability. But it kind of lays out that this can happen. He gets real wild in the pocket. This is a Marwan Rahiki is the type of fighter that I could see like absolutely outdog and slime out, and I almost want to say fluke, but not really, because it's not really a fluke. That I could see outdog and just slime out every single person he fights on the way to the top to genuinely like a title shot. I could see him like slime out everyone he fights on the way to a title shot. Not even a joke. But it's also the kind of guy I could see. This is the type of fighter you could see like on a 5-fight win streak, and then he gets slimed out like 3 times in a row. Like that's just what I think. And he's really good. I do think he's real. I do think he's like good, and I'm hopeful for him. But this is his style is just such his style and his like his attributes. We know he can be chinned. Like that is a possibility. You could chin him. It's just such a like I could so see him against someone who's a little tighter and a little more composed, just getting flatlined. I really could. Like a Danny Silva. I could really see him getting flatlined by a Danny Silva. Or maybe like a Jose Delgado. Someone like taller and longer who's got real power. Like it's just such a guy like, sure, I could see him going to the very top, but it's also a guy I could see being like a 50-50 fighter where it's like, get slimed out one fight, slime out someone the next, but it's like slime out two, get slimed out in one, knock your opponent out in the next fight, and then get knocked out 2 times in a row, knock your opponent out 2 times after that. It's so tricky with Marwan Rahiki because I want to root for the guy because he's such a fun style, because he's such a lay it all out there kind of guy. But it's such a style that I could see just getting like someone more skilled, just checking him real quick with a tight hook in the pocket, and he's out cold. So that's my pick for featherweight. I didn't really want to pick anyone at featherweight because I don't really think anyone out there is like a fraud waiting to be checked. But like if I had to pick anyone, after the Tommy McMillan fight, I think he's got a decent enough chin. He could really outdog anyone. He's definitely got the cardio, and he's got like decent grappling. I mean, we know he's got the cardio. It was kind of between him and Marwan Rahiki, but I think Tommy McMillan has, beaten the better opponents. I mean, his opponents are what? The comparison of opponents are comparing what? George Hardwick to Alberto Montez and Ollie Schmidt to Manolo Zichelli. And I think Tommy McMillan kind of just edges him out on that, and I think he's had better performances, whereas Monrahiki, sure, he slimed out Ollie Schmidt, but it's real tricky. But Tommy McMillan, I think, just kind of, based on the lower standards had for Tommy McMillan and the higher expectations for Marwan Rahiki, I feel that have been set recently. Like from the debut to now, I think the expectations for Marwan Rahiki have been just a little bit higher. I mean, I think now Tommy McMillan's are going to be higher, but I think Marwan Rahiki he's got those expectations, and I think when he loses, it's going to be classified as like people are going to be talking about fraud check. I really do. So that's my pick for the fraud check of featherweight. For lightweight, Manuel Sosa. the guy who legitimately slimed out Mauricio Hoofy. I man, really, I don't. I think it's waiting to happen for him. Like I'll say, he's big, he's physical. I think he's actually quite decent, but man, his cardio just worries me. Or no, it's not his cardio. His cardio doesn't worry me, but you know, when rewatching his fights against on the Contender Series, his opponent was low key ragdolling him in the first 2 rounds. It was honestly a comeback KO for Manuel Sosa. His opponent was pretty easily getting him down and holding him down, but his opponent gassed out. And then Sosa was just able to use his like pure brute strength and like power to beat him up on the ground and get the TKO. Balaji Oki for the first 2 rounds. I mean, he got dropped real bad in the first by Sosa, but he's able to come back, get top position, land good shots on the ground. And in the second round, he was low key piecing up Sosa. He was piecing up Sosa. Chief Sosa. But I hate the pauses. I really think I need to put music in between like this video, so that way it's not just blank pauses. When I see these fights and I see his opponents doing well and it's just them gassing out, it's just his opponent's gassing out and then he's able to do his like usual walk him down kind of style. And then you look back and you see Mauricio Hoofy was able to drop him. Balagioki was able to hurt him. His opponent in the Contender Series was able to get him down, hold him down, keep him in these positions in the first 2 rounds. Man, I just see someone like a Narulo Aliyev. I could really see someone like a Narulo Aliyev just like smudging him into oblivion. Someone like a Mike Davis just like getting him down, just keeping dominant position on him. I mean, his style is maybe like who's someone else? It was like a really good like high pace, like someone with a good chin, someone who can keep up their pace. I could see him going to like a real back and forth gritty decision with like a Drew Dober. In all honesty, I could see I could see a lot of fighters giving him trouble based on the fact that they can keep up the pace. And I can't trust someone to just be able to gas their opponent out while losing or while being competitive, just to be able to somehow gas their opponent out and then win by like a third round comeback KO at all times. I can't bank on that. I think eventually he's going to fight someone who can go all 3 rounds, who's got the cardio, and he's going to get comfortably beat to a decision. I mean, he's got power. He's got that ability to fluke at all times, but I can't just trust a fluke at all times. That's not what I'm going to pick you to win on. I'm not going to pick someone to win on a fluke at all times. I can't do that. Or I can't pick someone to win on a comeback KO at all times. Because that's what his fights have been recently. I mean, and if you look at the Rufy fight, that's what it was too. Comeback KO against Rufy. Comeback KO on the Contender Series. Kind of a comeback KO against Balaji Oki. Oki was building momentum and then he gasses out and then Sosa comes back. On the Contender Series, the dude had all the momentum going into the third, gasses out, Sosa fucking batters him on the ground. Finishes it. Against Rufy in the regional scene, Rufy was kind of piecing him up, keeping distance very well. And then in just an exchange where Rufy got comfortable against the cage, started doing his shoulder roll. He rolled the wrong way into a shot, and he got put out cold. I can't bank on Sosa to just comeback KO every time. I think someone's going to get in there with him who's going to be able to go all 15 minutes, who's going to be able to take some shots, get him down, or piece him up on the feet, hurt him himself, and I think they're going to put him out. I think they're going to beat him. And, I mean, he's fighting a dude, Richie Miranda, from Cub Swanson's team. I think that dude could pull it off. Richie Miranda's really good. Cub Swanson team is, like, sick. They're sick. They got a lot of skill. It's a lot of, like, heavy-handed dudes with real good boxing that really know how to stay within themselves. You know what? I could see someone like an Alexander Hernandez putting Manuel Sosa out. Sosa, like, really walking him down, overthrowing on a shot, and then Hernandez just comes back and fucking boom, and maybe gets an early stoppage or a really late stoppage. Really depends. I could genuinely see that happen. But Manuel Sosa, that's my lightweight pick. Moving on to welterweight. Myktybek Orolbai. Hot take. Hot take for some people. I don't think Myktybek Orolbai is going to be all that at welterweight. I really don't. Because when I'm seeing him miss weight against a guy like Mateusz Rebecki, and Rebecki is able to stuff the majority of the takedowns while being the smaller dude against a giant guy who missed weight. He's able to stuff a lot of the takedowns. He's able to create big damage on the feet. Shattered his orbital. I think he ended up also... He dropped him bad in the third round. Like, when I see that, I'm like, oh... I think, against Jack Hermanson was able to stop a lot of the takedowns before getting slimed out cold. I think you have someone who can stop the takedowns like that, but can also keep up on the feet and give you issues on the feet. I'm thinking, maybe. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna make it to that top 15. I mean, who's a good example? I need a real good example. Let me think. Let me look really quick. Maybe like a Carlos Leal would give him issues. Maybe like a Punahele Soriano, maybe. Someone real big who could stuff the takedowns, or like a roid freak like Carlos Leal. I was really hoping he would lose to Chidi and Joe Kawani. Unfortunately, they had a fucking banger war that I had to get hyped for. But I could really see like a bigger dude with like real power being able to just put hands on him like a what's his face? Rebecki was able to do, and beat him and keep him out of the top 15. I don't see him being a real mainstay at welterweight. Even though he has a win over Earl Smetic, who is top 15, who I do think is going to win on Saturday. I mean, Earl Smetic has that, like, he has real, like, devastating, like nuclear power. And Myktybek Orolbai has power, but, I mean, who is he chinned? I mean, he's flatlined Jack Hermanson coming off a brutal KO 6 months ago, who moved down a weight class. I mean, he's got good power, but I don't think he has that, like, nuclear vaporizing power like a Medic, who's able to literally, like, slime out every opponent he faces. I think he's waiting to get fraud checked by someone who, like Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis has a good ability to get back up, but I don't think he has all that ability to break away and break from the clinch from like a guy like Orolbai. I just don't think Myktybek Orolbai is all that. And I really think that when You get him in. I think someone like Jeremiah Wells is going to be able to stuff the takedowns. Not even joking. I think Wells is going to be able to do well and stuff takedowns. I think a Jonathan Mikulev could give Orolbai trouble. Like real big problems. Again, I said Carlos Leal, a Nicholas Dalby, Punahele Soriano. I think all these guys could give him real problems because he's also been known to slow down. I mean, against Elvis Brenner, he slowed down, started to tire. Yeah, for welterweight, I'm thinking Myktybek Orolbai. I don't think he's all that. Moving on to middleweight now. Baisangur Chamsurkaev. I honestly think we're all thinking it. We're all thinking it. We think this guy's going to get slimed out. We know next fight they're probably going to give him someone big name. We know they're probably going to give him a guy like Damian Penis. No, we know they're probably going to give him someone like a Myktybek. Someone bigger named. I think someone bigger named is going to slime him out. Eric Night Train Nolan, who fought, what's his name, like Hassanov or something, who got like literally actually just ragdolled, borderline assaulted in the cage with pure strike, with pure wrestling in his last fight, was getting tossed around like a fucking hand rag. I mean, that guy was able to rock Chamsurkaev bad at the end of round 1. You know, like kind of a skinnier, lankier welterweight was able to rock like a bigger middleweight. I think a guy like Damian Penis, a Myktybek, I think they'd fucking slime this guy out. I think they would. Eric McConaughey was able to stuff a lot of the takedowns, stay on his feet really well, and give him real trouble on the feet. Sure, he was still able to slime out McConaughey, but McConaughey was giving him real issues. Jordan Santos was giving him real trouble, landing real good on him, giving him a real tough fight. I really think someone like Damian Penis or a Myktybek, who's real big, if they focus on the grappling, they're going to be able to stuff the takedowns. I think they'd slime him out. This guy likes to get cocky with his hands in the air, keep his hands away from his face. He can get hit. We know he can. This guy is just begging to be chinned, and I think someone with that level of power, like Damian Penis and Myktybek, would fucking slime him out. And I'm kind of hoping for it. I kind of hate the way this dude talks about everyone like he's better than them. Like, dude, you're having the last round clutch up finish fucking Jordan Santos and Eric McConaughey. Like, at least Damian Penis and Myktybek are fucking just brutally sliming their opponents out who are cans. You're having to last minute clutch up against this kind of same level of competition. I think you put Myktybek and Jordan Santos or Damian Penis against Jordan Santos, they slime him out. Eric McConaughey, they slime him out in one round. Eric Night Train Nolan, they slime him out in one round. They're not going to waste all this time. And they're sure as hell not going to be throwing their fucking hands away from their face. Fucking dancing around like a dipshit. I think he's begging to be slimed out. I think he is begging to be slimed out. I think he is a fraud waiting to be checked. I so think he is just ready to be fraud checked. Truly. So that's my pick for middleweight. Moving on to light heavyweight. I just can't get over. He just pisses me off. His fucking smug look in the cage too, when he like smiles and he starts like oh, like fucking throwing his hands up in the air. Fuck you. Like, is he fun? Yeah, I'll say he's a fun fighter. I like the aspect of him that he's a fun fighter and he's entertaining. But I hate his fucking like shit talk after like mediocre performances against mid-level competition. It just pisses me off. But moving on to light heavyweight. This one was a tough one, but I got to go with Abdul Rahman Yakyayev. It is not even like I think this is a similar thing with featherweight. I like a lot of the prospects. I think he's actually quite good. You're sliming motherfuckers out in 8 seconds. Yo, son, you might be the shit. I mean, it's like when you got guys like him, Baranowski, you got like Billy Alacon in the mix, Rodolfo Bellato. The certain level of these guys have expectations on them. But I just think Mohamed Saeed just enters the fray. But when you look at some of these guys, Elikana has a win over Ibo Aslan, and he's fought guys like Bogdan Guskov in his debut, and he's shown like real skill, and he's shown his ability to come back from these like real tough moments. And that gives me hope. I like that. Ivo Baranowski, we know he's pretty tough and durable. He's been in a dogfight. We know he's got power. We know he's got nasty leg kicks too. I mean, we get to see his grappling, sure, but shit, he says he has it. I think he might slime out Alonzo Menifield, but I think that's also a fight Menifield could. I think that's a potential fraud checking. That is definitely a potential fraud checking. But Yakyayev, my thing with him is just, like, we know he's fast, we know he's powerful, we know he's explosive. I mean, he's had a fight, and his one decision in his career is him going to the distance all 5 rounds. That's a good sign. I like that. So we know in a 3-round fight you could probably survive. It's just like against Brenson Abero and against some of these other guys. Shit, he just seems so open in a lot of these exchanges. And I really like him. I think he's a real fun fighter. I don't think he's like a Temirov where he's just a fucking dirty roid cheat. He's just a really gifted athlete. He's very gifted. And he's very entertaining. He goes out there and he'll finish you. That's what I like. I like these fighters. But it just feels so open. And it feels so ready for, compared to a guy like Mohamed Saeed, who comes in his debut and he slimes out Dustin Jacoby on a 3-fight win streak. I don't need to know anything. You're not a fraud. You're legit. If you're beating Jacoby in a tit for tat and then sliming him out in pure stand-up, you're fucking legit, dude. But Yakyayev sliming out like a Julius Walker and Renson Habero and a who else was it? Rafael Sequeira, and he's got a lot of hype and name value. They're gonna push him hard. I don't know. What is it? Magomed Tuchalov, who just also made his debut. He was a real consideration, but considering how he looked against Sabero, I think a lot of his hype has died down, and people aren't really looking at him as too hot of a thing right now. They're gonna wait. Yakyayev, he's real hot right now, but he just seems really open in a lot of these exchanges. It just seems like his power and his speed, he's able to beat people to the punch. But what happens when he doesn't land the punch and his opponent does? I kind of need to see these things. I think he's real open. I think someone maybe like a Mohamed Saeed himself, who's real fast and real sharp and real dynamic and explosive. I think someone like him could catch Yakyayev on the chin. But it's with Yakyayev, it's like, I think, he could also catch this guy on the chin. I think it's kind of like a wait and see kind of thing, but of all the guys, I think he's probably the most likely to be fraud checked. I really do. And it's not saying I hope he gets fraud checked. I actually hope he does well. Fucking hell, we need good prospects at light heavyweight. We need light heavyweight to be popping. They got like 40 good guys. They got like 40 guys. That's all light heavyweight has. They got fucking nobody. I mean, shit. Julius Walker gave Menafield a real tough fight, and he slimed out Julius Walker. But Menafield, it can just fucking, I don't know. He's the fluky flukester. If you're a prospect, and especially if you're undefeated. Oh my! If you're an undefeated prospect, yo, do not fuck with Menafield. There's a good chance he will just slime you out. But Yakyaev, I really think there's a solid chance that he gets fraud checked. I really do. But it's not like I'm hoping for it. I hope he doesn't. I hope I'm wrong. A couple of these I hope I'm wrong on. I think Temirov, I hope I'm right. I hope I'm really right. I'm indifferent if it happens to Rosas Jr. I hope I'm wrong about Marwan Hiki. I really hope I'm wrong. But I just have a feeling. Manuel Sosa, he's pretty entertaining. He's pretty fun to watch. I hope I'm wrong about that. Orolbai, people like Orolbai a lot, and I get it. You know, he's got the funny caveman thing. It's kind of died off for me, personally. So I don't really care. If he goes back to slime people out and avoids fights like the Chris Curtis fight, I'll be like, then I hope he doesn't. But if he continues like the Chris Curtis type fights, then I'm like, and if he continues the streak of missing weight, then like he did at lightweight, like if it starts happening again at welterweight, then I hope he will. But for now, I'm kind of indifferent. Yakyaev, I hope I'm wrong. Chamsurkaev, I hope I'm right. Can't even front. Temirov, I hope I'm right. But a guy like Yakyaev, I hope I'm wrong in him being fraud checked. Moving on to everyone's favorite loophole, Gable Steveson. On God, I hope this dude gets slimed out. He's so raw. He's so open. I think this motherfucker's going to get slimed out. I'm praying he gets slimed out. This is the one I'm hoping for most. In order of the ones I want to get slimed out. Steveson at 1. Temirov at 2. Chamsurkaev at 3. I hope Steveson gets slimed out. I hope he gets fraud checked. He's so open on the feet. He's kind of like a Josh Hokett type, but I mean, shit, Josh Hokett at least he's able to secure his takedowns. God forbid. Gable Steveson, a single shot on the Snack Panther, he gets fucking snapped down. He gets put in a choke and he gets snapped down immediately. I mean, he's got good kicks to the body and teeps, but how is that gonna work against a taller, bigger dude? Like, and I also fucking hate him. I'd rate my performance like a 6 or a 7. 6, 7? Huh. Fucking 2019. Huh. 2 men. 1 drunk girl. Huh. I'm just saying. I feel like he's really raw, and sure, he has the, very physical athleticism. Oh, what the fuck am I even saying? Very physical athleticism. Jesus Christ, I'm actually so bad at English. He's got very good athletic capabilities. We know that. I mean, he's an Olympic gold medalist, for Christ's sake. We know he's an explosive athlete. We know he's fast. We've seen it firsthand. He's very fast. He's actually got pretty good kicks, but he's just so raw. He's so open. They're going to push him hard. They're going to really push him. They're going to probably give him another can. Or maybe like that RJ Harris. They're probably going to give him someone like RJ Harris. And he's probably going to slime them out. He's probably going to slime them out really easily. And then they're going to really push him against like a Sergey Spivak. Or like a Walter Walker. And honest to God, I think those guys would beat him. Sergey Spivak, low-key crafty as fuck now. He had a crafty jab against Ante Deliha. Walter Walker, we know he's got the crafty jiu-jitsu. He would fucking twist Gable Steveson up into a pretzel. I'm not bought on it. I've seen his other fights. just not incredibly impressive. He's out here getting. He's out here very open to big shots. I mean, Elijah Ellison was landing like he landed a couple like big overhands, landed a clean elbow on him that really stunned him. He got hit with a spinning wheel kick like 10 seconds into his like third fight. Like he's good, he's athletic, but I'm not buying into it, and I also really don't like him. But let me know who you guys think is next up in the fraud checking list. You guys tell me who you think is the biggest fraud waiting to be checked. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll probably drop my predictions for Serbia tomorrow. But other than that, see y'all. Have a good one.